back to my channel. My name is Pika and I do fragrance reviews. So welcome back everyone. How are you guys doing? How has your weekend been? And also, what is your scent of the day? Today I'm going to kind of feature different fragrances that have the best performance within my collection. So these have amazing longevity, these have amazing projection, sillage, and as a result, normally when I wear better performing fragrances, I mean I overspray anyway, but I notice particularly with very potent fragrances, people tend to compliment me more because they can smell me more. So yeah, let's just jump right into this. I have a selection of different fragrances. If I'm being honest, like they're all pretty much my darkest scents. And what I mean by that are like the scents that I would wear pretty much in the dead of winter. I've noticed that the darker the scent, normally the better the performance. It really does matter obviously which house you get it from, which brand you get it from, blah 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 blah. But I do notice that winter fragrances seem to have better performance. And before we jump into this video guys, please keep in mind that everyone has different levels. There are different levels to this when it comes to performance on people's skin. Not everyone will have the same experience as what you do or somebody else does on their skin. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So the first fragrance that I have is obviously a Xerjoff, a Xerjoff fragrance, because as you all know, Xerjoff is kind of renowned for having amazing performance. I remember where did I go again? I went to one of the big department stores and one of the guys sprayed Herba Pura. I'm not the biggest fan of that fragrance, but I do have to admit the performance was out of this world insane. I think he massively oversprayed me because I could just smell that the whole way home and it lasted in my coat for weeks. Weeks. Not even days, weeks. So the one that I'm showing today is called JTC 400. And this one is a very mysterious and weird fragrance. This is not for the faint of heart. Not a lot of you would like this fragrance, but personally I think it's a masterpiece. I don't try to put out that word too many times, but in my eyes, I might do a masterpiece video actually very soon, but this is masterpiece level for me. What does it smell like? So JTC 400 smells like, oh wow, dark, very dark honey mixed with this incensey indolic jasmine with a lot of ylang, and then has a very woody base. This almost comes across as a woody sheep to me, but it doesn't have the characteristics that chypre fragrances normally have. It doesn't have oak moss, it doesn't have you know, vetiver, labdanum, all of these different things. It does have a bright citrus opening, but that's pretty much it. But for some reason it really reminds me of those types of fragrances, and this in terms of performance has to be one of the best I've ever experienced in my life. This you cannot overspray. As much as I love overspraying, when you do overspray you can choke poor people out if they're not very much into fragrances. And there are some people, you'd be surprised, who have adverse kind of reactions to fragrances. They're not the most keen on perfumes. So if you do ever wear this, do not overspray it because you will choke not only yourself out but other people around you. So that is JTC 400. Guys, the next one that I have is admittedly not my favorite from the Tom Ford Private Blends, but I still do really like it and I still love wearing it in the winter. And what is it called? It is Vanille Fatale obviously from Tom Ford. Now this one really surprised me in terms of its performance. One of my friends, they wore this when we were going to the pub and she only put on maybe about 4 or 5 sprays and you could just smell her everywhere, and it was amazing. I think that this smells incredible. It's such a unique vanilla scent. It does have that typical vanilla pod, marshmallowy vanilla, but it has more than that. It does have a little bit of a medicinal vibe. It goes into quite a woody, almost verging gourmand, but not quite there yet. The spices in here are not spices like cardamom or anything like that. It's more like a cinnamony spice that you find in here. So yeah, I don't know whether it's actually classed as a gourmand, but it's definitely in that oriental, I don't even like using that word, guys. It's in that resinous kind of category. So if you like that kind of stuff, this is for you. So that is Vanille Fatale by Tom Ford. So how could I even do this video without including my baby? Myrrhe Imperiale from Armani. This is from their Privé kind of collection. This is discontinued, so I'm very sorry to all of you that can't get your hands on this because it is incredible. I know I've said it quite a few times, but I'll say it again. It is one of the best amber resinous fragrances you could possibly get in the luxury designer market. This is so incredible. Very resinous, very ambery, sweet, smoky in the beginning. Almost has like a slight churchy vibe because of the myrrhe. I've always kind of been scared of those kind of fragrances, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It does have this churchy kind of smell just in the beginning, a little bit smoky, which I think is incredible, honestly. And then obviously it has that sweetness from the amber, has I believe a little bit of patchouli, but I'm not entirely sure. So it does kind of verge into going into woody, but it's not quite there yet. So yeah, it's just incredible. The performance is out of this world. You only need a little bit to go a long way, and this during the winter, ooh, this cuts through cold weather like nothing else. Honestly guys, this is one of the most cutting fragrances when it comes to the winter because it's so warm and cinnamony and spicy and sweet. It just cuts through cold weather like nothing else. So that is Myrrhe Imperiale from Armani. All right, so this one is technically kind of cheating, and the reason why I say that is because it does have I do have 3 fragrances here technically, and these are all from Terence Hughes. So I have the new one called Luna, which is amazing. Chantel Tiffany has put out a video reviewing this. I haven't watched it just yet, but if you're interested in Luna, check her video out. This is, wow, rose and oud. Apparently there's 8% oud in here and 5% rose absolute. So yeah, you just know that it's going to smell incredible just from hearing that. The next one that I have is Boss Bitch. Again, this is another oud based fragrance, and I also have the old version of Violet Delirium, another oud based fragrance. So the reason why I wanted to put these in is because all of Aaron's fragrances, not just his ouds, but all of them have the best performance that I've ever experienced in perfumery as a whole, and consistently. That's it, not ritually. It's not like we're doing a blood sacrifice, but these are absolutely incredible. They have an underlying musky, skin-like scent. That's what I've noticed throughout all of his fragrances. But these in particular, the ouds from his line, just last for days and days and days, and they project for hours and hours and hours. So he really knows what he's doing when it comes to performance, and that's something that I genuinely really appreciate and really admire, because he goes out of his way to make sure that you really get a lot of bang for your buck. So that is Terence Hughes Oud lines. So last and certainly not least is, of course, a Royal Elixir from Ormonde Jayne. Actually, I might throw in an honorable mention after this one, but this is Royal Elixir from Ormonde Jayne. Most of Ormonde Jayne's, apart from their more citrusy floral fragrances like Taif and Damask and those types of fragrances, those don't have, actually Damask is amazing, what am I talking about? Taif, one of my favorite fragrances of all time, that one doesn't have as great performance, but this one, wow, this, when I first sampled it, left me speechless because the performance was that great. And of course the scent is incredible. I mentioned this in my last video, and this is a intense version of Amber Royale, if you've not tried that one. And this has a lot of spice in the beginning, a lot of, almost smells like black pepper, and then goes into this jasmine-y, orchidy, floral mid with a lot of amber and a lot of woods supporting it. So it's a very intense fragrance. Apparently, I don't know how true this is, but apparently it has 42% naturals, which is insane. So apparently this is the most extrait of extrait that you can get, and for the price I think it is incredible. I got this 50ml for 150, and I know that is a lot of money, but for there to be that much raw material for the cost, it's as if you were to buy, I don't know, like the most Roger of Roger fragrances, and this is like 1/10 of the price. So it is really amazing. The projection is insane. This cuts again through cold weather like nothing else. It's very warm, it's spicy, it's floral, it's heady, it's woody, it's everything just jumbled in one, but in a really beautiful way. Longevity just goes on for days, literally. So yeah, that is Royal Elixir from Ormonde Jayne. So the last one that I wanted to mention is one that I haven't had a bottle for, well, I've never bought it, and honestly I don't know why. I'm quite annoyed with myself because I've bought all of the other fragrances on my wish list for the past 2 years, maybe 1 or 2 years, apart from this one. It's like, Pika, what are you doing? This is Soir d'Orient. I've had like 10 of these kind of samples because the ladies in the shops just always give them to me. This is so incredible. I can't even put into words how good this is. It's a little bit similar to Fatale Royale from Galan, and it's also a darker, more mysterious baby of Eau de Soir from Sisley. This is predominantly a rose patchouli scent. I believe it's classed as a chypre, but I'm not entirely sure. It's just very dark. It's rosy, it's spicy. I'm just gonna spray it here because oh my gosh, that opening kills me every time. It's mossy, it's green, but it's dark and it's rosy and it's woody and it's not resinous, but it's kind of going there. Wow. And this performance wise is incredible. I find Eau de Soir performs quite well as well, but this one performed even better. This, I've sprayed it out of all of the samples that I have, I've sprayed this whilst going out in the winter time, and it was incredible. This projects really well. It has a really nice bubble around you, has great longevity. The sillage is incredible. You can smell it in the other room if you go from room to room. So if you've not tried this one, guys, this is very elegant, mature, As I said, quite similar to, it's as if it's Santal Royale and Eau de Soir had a baby. That's how I feel like about this fragrance, with a lot of rose in there. So that is Soir d'Orient by Sisley. Alright my loves, we have finished this video and I really enjoyed it. I think when it comes to performance, it's good to have a few really good performing fragrances in your collection, because those are the ones that when you want to make a statement, you can make a statement. I might do a cheapy version of this video where I go more into quite affordable designer scents, because there are amazing designer fragrances that have incredible performance in my opinion. Those are mostly the 90s kind of fragrances more than the ones that you find nowadays, but there are still really great performers out there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, all of that jazz, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye guys.